And me per se ye din komo bi. Very simple. It's about IMF. So let me go to that screen na ye mon komo kakra bi e wa ha. And then komo ye die no. Enie IMF conditionality. Akufo Addo vs Mahama. And the editorial very simple. IMF call IMF BI pre conditionality. And nyama bi ebehia sa obeye. Ansa no watimi anya IMF mwa. And in conditionality no. Na ye behwe Mahama penso 2014 no call IMF no. Conditionality so no ankasa sete de man ho. Ene nana Addo Akufo Addo. And so conditionalities are set at the aman ho. Now I promise you by the time I be here, we know. Very interesting, but very simple. First, let me take you to a IMF website. Now you share the Ghana. You call IMF 2014. Sometimes over here I am PP 42. I'm so pempe so Ghana ya bedru no. Because of COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war, and they did some people. So NDC for the mobile bemono. Now there was no pandemic. Now there was no ahuchibia, and so Ghana for new red doing some. I say, yeah, come the IMF because NDC are meeting any pandemic. But the truth of the matter is say, NDC went to IMF in 2014. Now almost a issue ben and no more. Now we nyame make way a International Monetary Fund IMF on website. You can also go there and search. Now this was published on May 30th 2014 and the IMF published here. Now then IMF staff country report. I just say country report to be a IMF country member, be a member country biano or more report to every year biano or more deba mamin bi mukase na ehwebi. And to ba Ghana staff report for 2014 article consultation and that hono date no na me dey ato hono. Now can I say this 2014 article consultation highlight the emergence of large fiscal and external imbalances since 2012, which has created significant challenges for Ghana. A swift return to macroeconomic stability in 2013 was thwarted by weaker external and domestic conditions, reflecting lower gold and cocoa exports. The current account deficit exceeded 12% of GDP. IMF say the entire 2014 NDC for anasa abano eba IMF abeji jumedi nyina say was external and domestic. External near day was gold and cocoa bo. Yeni ankasa dia that is 2014. E dia cocoa bo e form. Oil bo and the cyber crime say oil near shed and to do biasa. Cocoa bo ko form ema gold so e bo ko form. Yen so any tia say commodity e de kwa amana ne konya e de any foreign earning e gold and a cocoa. And the IMF just say abanish share or this was whatever Mesicasma year 2013 and ye because of external. And he say IMF Ghana for Nana Danko for them before external forces because COVID-19 if you've been free by external forces Russia Ukraine war. Yes, 2014 there was external cause at Ghana Ekoye. This is IMF talking and not mena mekasa. What was I say? Although recently revised estimate point to an only moderate slowdown in growth to about 7%, the fiscal deficit target of 9% of GDP was missed by about 1 percentage point. Ghana's short-term economic outlook is subject to significant risk and growth is projected to slow to 4.75% in 2014. Country report number 2014 blah 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 blah. And that this is IMF. And IMF today the entire 2014 NDC for engage you more. Now let me take you back to Mahama and NDC for call IMF 2014. Conditionalities are almost set here. IMF no okwa kopem wa conditionalities ni say why be assess ni ahwe wo sika sem ne ba bia kwakodo no ahode no na ebusa say ekwan ben and now pese fa so eboa enie o call IMF a ye call because of what? To balance our payments said the be a betimi anya sika na etimi de twetwe ho ka na afesu so ye ni monyama akofo menti epebosi a ye nya bie no e betimi agi akagina mu nti IMF no bebo so abebusa so okay se me beboa wo am watimi anya sa moa we ya ekwan be na wankasa wo be fa so awe say wo be yi hu afiri wo ha no nti IMF will not set condition for you. You yourself is set condition for yourself. How you think say wo betimi e de afiri wo ha no mu say twice mu a na IMF a endorse no a rule no ama program na otimi de akọ nti sa pepepe ene sitie nti 2014 Mahama government approach IMF no. These are the conditionalities of the call here. So this is a 2014 bailout programs. This is the program. In early 2015, Ghana turned to the IMF for $918 million loan to help stabilize the economy. IMF advisors working on the Ghanaian government developed a three-part program. In 2015, NDC by Echo IMF, $918 million. But Nanado Danko Akufo Addo ne MPP die na ye kwahwe no 3 billion Ghana cedis, more than 300%. $3 billion, more than 300% of what Mahama sought for from IMF in 2015. Now, these are the conditionalities NDC for Mahama kon kwan IMF as the kwan be na be fa so a ubetimi ayu hu afiri sa wo ha ma to asuma ne mo. This is the conditionalities Mahama set for IMF or endorse here. The government limited hiring and wage increases and eliminated subsidies for utilities and petroleum products. Say on to adwumafo aketua mu say de na ositutum no eye subsidies ad sabre na e de ma electricity water any fuel subsidies no wo yiri nyina e sa subsidies no e di free ehonum afeso wo increase eye revenue afeso tax evasion crofo a na omu ntua tax no abani so akokese o so yese obeji san crofo no nyina osika na otimi di aba. New revenue sources included a tax on luxury cars and increased taxes on high earners to put Ghana's finances on a sounder footing, and new Public Financial Management Act called for improved accounting standards, procedures, and technology. The Mahama here and say, or the to be by no more crackers if you broach by the board deno, or the total swatches say we will triak a see, and we are there back or they a buyer. After so, and a mobile to be a friend of Public Financial Management Act. I don't know yet a kwanya abaya so ye bia a kwan be fa so di ubebo akọ manus kanyina no ni nyina fa ho ne ehu ye de hihye to so wuntimi nkonkodu sam pempen so we. And that's what Mahama did. This is the conditionalities are Mahama dey approach IMF. Now, strengthen monetary policy. I come betimi afa so esika some policy betimi akoye. The authorities agreed to gradually and central bank financing of the budget deficit, a major source of inflation, and to fortify the inflation targeting regime. Sabreno, na abanye bibia no akojiska o eye Bank of Ghana. Abanye bibia no akojiska Bank of Ghana. Nemo the mama and say okay this time no I mean call Bank of Ghana and konkojisa ska biom. And intino part of the conditionality so abanye no kokojiska no Bank of Ghana me hieska no ma Bank of Ghana tweska no de agum. Na ama inflation ahwira kosoro eno nyina koso ntima hamba ba conditional so dey approach IMF in 2014-15 ni say on konko giska o IMF o ma IMF interest o ma Bank of Ghana interest ka emfa mani bio. Now clean up the banking sector, banking system. Sabrans na banking sector no so face challenges. An asset quality review revealed significant undercapitalization. Some banks were recapitalized, and Bank of Ghana used its newly enhanced authority to wind down insolvent lenders. The central bank developed a regulation to ensure that banks meet sound underwriting and credit evaluation standards. It also paid back insolvent microfinance institutions depositors. Dear Mahama Abaye and Sabre, na sikakrabia ho do so face challenge. Ti do mo ye and say, one, sikakrabia no munisika no aban pe sika e de so masene. aban hwe say wo mo a microfinance companies ana omo creditors omo ntimi ntua omo ka no aban hwe say obepe sika no ntimi de atua na banks no so aho na ye adwuma afi wo mo a mo akwaje gigibo se omo ntimi ntua no aban hwe kwapa obetimi afaso agi se sika no. These are the conditionalities Mahama set for his government, as was set for himself. Or they convince IMF emitimi eje sa M1. Now you share the outcome. Sa conditionalities Mahama the IMF. You hear the outcome free by the free by. Ghana's economy is on the mend. The trade and the budget deficits are narrowing. The pace of economic growth is poised to raise to 8.8% in 2019 from 2.2% in 2015. The inflation rate is projected to fall to 8% from almost 19%. Ebra Mahama approaching IMF in 2014-15. Now inflation was about 19.5%. Now, so that program they call IMF report or the buy and say, got a budget deficit. Yesika ensuya ko mesikano. Dia abani closino. Is afraid the next one. Wa closino. After so the abani is economic growth. I said project or my yeno any projection no. IMF predicted the economy will grow by 8.8%. Now baby what the share see a big grow by 8.8% by 2019 because IMF program near the mine was for 3 years 2015, 16, 17 and 2019 as a swabber. The IMF projected say the economy will grow by 8.8% in 2019 from 2.2% in 2015. At 2015, no, that is it. Inflation was 19.5% then. IMF projected say by the time you be 2019, inflation will come to 8%. And indeed, now the Akufo Addo MP before by in 2018, 2019, the inflation we had a single-digit inflation. So Nina, you can say it was because of Mahama conditionalities or the approach IMF, and the kind of projection that IMF for you know, this is how Mahama and government. After Shadiabi cut to wasteful spending made room for much needed social services such as free secondary education. Mahama omo abamuno wasteful near be around say be scarce or kati ni nyina. According to IMF, eno ma kwan ma ban nya sika bebre and it's another buy in 2017 yetimi free education. This is from IMF. You can go to IMF and then you search 2014, 2015 Ghana I can say IMF conditionality. So search here you can get it. For Ghana's 28 million people, it all adds up to higher income, better job opportunities, and more purchasing power. Still, Ghana remains largely reliant on foreign financing, exposing it to a swing in investor sentiment. Maintaining fiscal discipline will also be a challenge. And time forecast but Ghana for us is still no ye de ho to amanone so ne nyeska de aboa enti ye koye nim ne se koso aye se ho be kire yen enti de IMF kan ne says we ya ba na ho heritage Mahama government ne ka cho say pempenso aye du success ne nemom ye koye nim no esan se de ho to eye amanone for so enti ne betimi am a challenge. What you have done is say you do everything possible. Penyensi dia nansi dia wono. Enti kuma on transi tonko. But in this case, the kind of borrowing so from 2017 no over CD borrowing be akoso in the history of Ghana. So these are the conditionalities of Mahama government SRT for now. Now young Shen Nana Addo Akufo Addo. Nana Addo Akufo Addo approaching IMF. Omufre be debt sustainability analysis. Debt sustainability analysis in say Ghana ye kana kodu be bia unsustainable just say aginsemu amene ye enti IMF catch that mind say okay one kasa kokoye analysis na be kire kwan a wo be fa so a say ye de to this program so a one kasa na be ya ho be hen kakra say de be ya wo betimi atua obi a obenya gidi na rehemu mu di ne sika abo a invest. That's the debt sustainability analysis. Enti IMF to the Ghana buy say one kasa go and analyze yourself. Show one to ho na fabre mo Nana Akufo Addo buying after 2 or 3 months omo debt service debt analysis sustainability analysis ni wie no then omo approach IMF. And so this conditionality that we are going to nye IMF na asset dia ma aban ya aban na kasa na asset dia ma no ho kwa obetimi afa so a obetwitwa no ho a be convince IMF che say dem pese me yenie and nti no fam one edemame enti conditionalities and Nana Akufo Addo and Dr. Muhammad Bomiake no Furata head of economic management team dia ba ne say 1 one more do omo kawa manone a osi etua no ye ntua to be kaya about 3 months ago Aba announced say external creditors no we are not going to pay them including Eurobond. We no and oba fie said domestic debt exchange. One more do omo ka wo Ghana ha say no so omo so sie ntua. Eni nti no omo ankoma koto bond omo do musika abo aban bosia. It said now no February 6 year ebinim dia mature so nkom kojiska about 4 billion no aban say won tua because oniska ne won tua say sika ne dia say sika na nkodo betua ne ho be hen ha no no watimi dia convince IMF say ekwan abetumi afa so e de aboani. These are the conditionalities and another Akufo Addo akasa set dia man ho. Now through these conditionalities na another say pensioners nkwakrafo mere wafo a se bi o mo kwa homoje mo moji na ewu a mo pesicato diabetes ni hypertension ni high blood pressure dra no no wode ne nsa ebeto mo sika so on fa ma wo mo se de be ya obetimi dia convince IMF na watimi dia aboa. But one thing we should know ni say IMF program bia no e consider the poor, the vulnerable in a society, in a community. And it's a government who approach IMF or making sure that social interventions ben out there or they be protected the poor and the vulnerable in the society. But when another conditionalities was set the amount just to convince IMF to get IMF program by next month. No, are buying the vulnerable, the aged, and Kokrafo name Rewafua or Mokwa Mujimono, are vulnerable in the society. No. Or musikana Kenneth Oforiata say obefa ontua mfa momo. That's why we saw ye nanano mane yakwakra Akufo emerwafo yi nano mutisi monte omo ye oyekire. Already IMF ono ankasa ne statement ode to wa making country we are Mahama ekate cost. Mahama pesro ye ne so okay ahokire ho entimi mfa adwumayfo kese omo mu kra ne mento o market tuam afesu so subsidies ahodo a okoto fuel e ma yini nyina afiri ho ensuo ma yafi ho electricity ma yafi ho na yan face reality na nanu dan Akufo Addo de on the 2013 won fa obi adwumam ti Mahama de or the limit e ba so say na me fa 10 na this time na me fa 10 ba bia me fa 5 and me fa 6 and 7 or the limit by na nanu so no de won fa obi a 2023 nya do be fa obi a. Now, Kofa expenditure Mahama de kate according to IMF, and in pay way, Emma Bantimi service sky, timid free SHS. Now, Akufo Addo expenditure, Kofa 2022 budget, now Kofa 2023 budget, the expenditure sky you trade the common penin and Addo Asayeno has been increased by 82 billion Ghana cedis. Instead of saying be reduced, it has been increased by 82 billion Ghana cedis. So you get it? So Nana Akufo Addo is now spending more on expenditure. Instead of you to cut waste, or spending more. And once Abani is spending more, 82 billion in excess, a year budget from between 2022 to 2023. Now the government, or the necessity about to a young phonisi council, which is the pensioners. Say musikane dia mu pio. And one I'm assuming the Bejuma out to me the Yejuma. When Mahama was cutting the size according to the IMF, and then Matisse a year Pentecostal, Ghana Pentecostal Association or whatever, Mukuno. Or my sister said the government should cut the size and won't reduce the cost, won't reduce the expenditure, and won't cut the size of the government. At this particular time, Nana Akufo Addo, instead of it to convince IMF by reducing the size of his government, Nana Akufo Addo is maintaining the size of his government, even making an extra appointment. Now you have a Ministry of Pension. Minister in charge of pension. Instead of saying Nana Akufo Addo may take this opportunity to downsize the government, and I was appointing for Minister of State, Finance, at the Minister of Finance, the Minister of State, in charge of Finance, Minister of State, holding on to these people. So that Nana Akufo Addo is not cutting costs. So if he indeed says, "Oh, cut cost," we see they increase your consumption by 82 billion. You government, you are increasing your consumption by 82 billion. But the vulnerable in a society, in a community, according to IMF program, one more say be omuni bio more bro. I was saying community protect them. Now Nana Akufo Addo government is going after the vulnerable. One more money be no and abandoned inside ebo musikemu. Once or no government na ban on no be no is still holding on to this huge number of ministers and deputies and CEOs still holding on to them. Why are we still keeping a ministry like chieftaincy and religious affairs? What did they do? Chieftaincy and religious affairs. What did they do? Why are we still keeping a ministry like Ministry of aviation, your railway, your transport? Why are we still keeping these three ministers when we can merge them? Why are we still keeping a ministry like communication separate and also information? Oko information ministry, there were 3 deputies plus a minister, 4. Oko communication, or a minister and 2 deputies, 3. These 2 ministers alone, no, Okabo was 7 ministers. But Mahama merged these 3 ministers or managed with 4 ministers. Offer a ministry to say aviation, railway, and transport ministry. Mahama managed these 3 ministers or managing na bomu na a minister of transport or managing this ministry with 1 minister and a deputy. The late Mami friend is saying the voter regime, Mami friend. Jifa Ativo as a minister and Honorable Joyce Mutari Bawa as a deputy. These 2 women, under the leadership of Musi Ho Airport, Terminal 3, Kumasi Airport, Face, Wa Airport, Tamale Airport, Sanyama Wenina, Ukokojo Krum Railway Line, or more revive, no, and a railway line from Tema all the way to Akosombo Nano. Sa project in Nasha see under them. Okofa STC, or Monasa revive STC, Okofa Metro Mass, or more resource Metro Mass, or Monomdi Ayalolo Edibaye. They did a lot to the extent that even the aviation sector, no, or Muya Terminal 3, that can the next phase in say, Ghana Benya national career, Anke Nenke, or Ghana Airways, and Kabesa Yejuma, or Muya Wesenina. You came and divided this ministry into 3 separate ministries. What have they added? Nothing. They almost added shade to it. So this is the glorious opportunity for Nana Akufo Addo to merge some of his ministries, reduce the size of the government, to convince the IMF to get the IMF program than going after this vulnerable in our society. How can you be that so insensitive to the sense that and now when your finance minister is at post? So Ghana for say ye cause a problem we more. Nobody should blame IMF. IMF the otini baby was say wo bra be kire me kwan pa betima fa so ayi won fira so tina na Akufo Addo na buy na kasa na set these conditionalities for themselves, including a pensioners fund. How can you take pensioners money and increase your consumption by 82 billion Ghana cedis at this particular moment? How can you increase your consumption by 82 billion and put a total freeze on employment? As we speak, Ghana, you have over 700,000 graduates unemployed in this country. By the time we feel Ghana will produce additional 100,000 unemployed. But the government is not employing anybody. The size of the government is still the same. We are maintaining. Nana Addo Akufo Addo, government, you have to be very careful and you have to be very reasonable. Ubedu bisika na nyamere wafo. Say be blood pressure. Eden crofo komada kamuna.